We'll do that. Thank you so much for your
Okay, then.
responses.
I can
Can
hear
you
you,
hear
Bonnie.
me?
Go ahead.
Awesome. So, Mr. Musyoka, the question that I was posing to you have to do with credibility and authenticity. And I asked you why you think Kenyans should trust you when you stand there in a press conference with a known thief of public resources. I have done a serious study on everything that took place when Babaya was governor of Kiambu County. Perhaps you haven't seen it, but I can tell you that um, if there is ever a poster boy for corruption and everything that's wrong with Kenyan politics, it is Babaya. The last person who deserves a second chance and the benefit of the doubt is Babaya. And I'm puzzled that you will urge Kenyans to look at an individual like that and say, cut him some slack. Wait for our court system to determine that he's a known criminal. I mean, we know that our system of justice doesn't work. An individual like that steals from the most vulnerable in our community, bribes his way through the court system, and is still a viable politician in our country. And people that are asking Kenyans to trust him do not have the ability, the foresight to be able to tell people that should not go anywhere near public resources. That's puzzling to me, and it's surprising to me. And I say that with all due respect. Um, I'm just going to give you a couple of data points to kind of drive home the reason why I believe that there's a gap between the young people in Kenya and the old guard of Kenyan politics. I'm going to give you a couple of data points, and I'll be very brief about your own county of Kitui. And I see Governor Wavinya Ndeti is here, so I'll give you a couple of data points about Machakos. Again, I'll be very brief. Your county of Kitui has a population of 1.1 million. It's got a 55% poverty rate, 63% literacy rate. It's a poor county. The average citizen there makes about $10,000 shillings a month. With a 55% poverty rate, your county spends 10% of its budget on MCAs alone. Okay, 10%. The Kitui County spent 97 million on foreign travel in 2022-2023. It spent 420 million on foreign travel, a total of 517. It gave the MCAs 233 million in cars and another 14 million in allowances. So that county alone, just on a few people, the county has about 55 MCAs. You spend 764 million on them, luxury. And then look at how much money that county spent on education. 200 and actually zero shillings on education and bursaries in the whole county. So you spend 764 million on yourself, you spend nothing on the citizens. Give you a couple of data points about Machakos.
Bonnie,
36% poverty
can
rate.
we land, please, and give it on the chat? We only have 15 minutes to
Yes.
do, and we'll appreciate. Thank you.
Understood. Understood. So Machakos spent 747 million between cars for the governor, MCAs, and travel, and then it spent 80 million on education and bursaries for the whole county. That's the problem that we have in our country today. And all these Kenyans that are on this call understand that issue. And our politicians, in my honest opinion, do not understand that issue. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Bonnie, for your comment. Let's go to the ladies, and then we go to Anwar and Senator Babu.
Yes,
Thank you.
go ahead. Roseko, how are you doing today? Welcome.
I'm okay. I'm doing well. Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I'm honored to join this important discussion and connect with these fellow Kenyans who are passionate about developing a better future for our beloved nation. Honorable Kalonzo, your unwavering dedication to integrity, justice, and unity has been a source of inspiration for many, including myself. Allow me to possess two questions that I believe will highlight your strength and offer clarity on your vision for Kenya. My number one question: you've been a steadfast advocate for peace and national cohesion. How do you plan to leverage your track record of promoting unity to bridge the deep division in our country and foster a truly inclusive Kenya? My number two question is, your commitment to servant leadership is well known. what unique qualities and values do you believe to set you apart as the leader who can steer Kenya towards economic recovery and restore hope for millions of struggling Kenyans? Thank you for your leadership and for engaging with us tonight. We are eager to hear your insight. Sorry, guys, I've got a bit of cold.
No,
Thank you.
thank you so much, Rose, for that, and we are quick recovery for that cold. Dolphin, are you here? Yes, we need more ladies also to ask question. We don't say that this platform is more. We want young people, ladies to come in. Dolphin, go ahead. Dolphin. Oh, Dolphin dropped. Okay, Senator Ken Babu. Abdi, can you hear me? Honorable, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, I can hear you. Okay, Senator Babu, are you here? All right, I think you have connection issues. Anwar,
Hey, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Hilary, Abdi, the Honorable Kalonzo, and the rest of the members here. Uh, One of the things that is very important that I think for most of the observers have seen, though we gave ourselves a constitution in 2010, successive governments since then have proven that the president still enjoys immense power, that they have a lot of power over of our institutions that are supposed to be acting independent. We see it now with Ruto controlling parliament, controlling the judiciary. And therefore, the character of the person that becomes president is very important. We all agree, I think, that the current government does not represent what we aspire for the Kenyan people. This is not what we want for our nation. We do not want to see cases of abductions. We do not want to see cases of killings, and we do not want to see cases of corruption. So the bottom line is that we want, those of us that really need Kenya to change, agree that the current government needs to go. There will be debates of who and what kind of people need to replace them, but I think that is a debate that I think when we agree that the current government needs to go, we will continue to have. I think my questions that I want to ask the Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka, the reality of the ground is that Kenyans need a coalition, government, among politicians, young people, to achieve the immediate goal of ensuring that UDA, the blood-based government, is a one-term government. As a leader, have you begun consultation among your peers and the other people, stakeholders, to ensure that Ruto becomes a one-term government? The other thing, what do you think, in your own personal characteristics, best places you into a position of a good leader? Are you a person that is open to criticism? If you are to be criticized, will you be killing our people if you are to become the president? If you are criticized, you will be abducting people if you are to become president. How do you think your Christian faith has shaped you to be a leader? Because now we see somebody that is also quoting the Bible but is killing people at the same time. So people are very skeptical about Christians. What is the differentiating factor between your Christian faith and that of Ruto, as we say today? Those are the two questions that I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Anwar. Yeah. So I think there was somebody who was dropping Hillary. We can bring Wamae, Justin Wamae. So Justin, the mic is yours. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Hi, Hilary and the team. Mine is a comment. Number one, the problem devils our country is economic democracy. We see ourselves as the national cake to be eaten somewhere, to be cut somewhere. I want us to start thinking that cake is finished. 61 years of independence, we don't have the cake. So we should be thinking about baking it or even cooking ugali. Who said we need the cake? So the conversation that I'm really hoping that this country will start looking at things is how do we emancipate ourselves economically? Number two, the challenge again we have is that we are all hoping that we are all saying must go, which is fine, but I also want to accept that we need a formidable opposition if we really need true and that strong the change, the transformation we're looking out for. We need a strong opposition that will keep the government in check. Because as it is, if the one we say must go goes and then he ends up being in the position, it's going to disturb everyone. So whatever we are planning for in the future, focus on winning government and having a formidable opposition. Hillary, if you allow me, let me donate my rest of the time to Omondi Koyo. He is really insisting on speaking. Thank you very much and enjoy your evening.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Justina.
Justin.
Where is Oyo? I don't see him. Maybe he will request a mic. Okay, Matera, you've been here for a while. Do you have a question? Then Ronyo. Then we'll give Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka. But I think, Mheshimiwa, we are sorry that we're gonna take maybe more 10 minutes on top. I will not add anybody on speaker. Matera, can you go ahead? Then Ronyo.
Well, thank you very much, fellow compatriots, for making time to gather around this very important topic. Mine is with regard to the reconstitution of the IEBC, and I want to take Honorable Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka back to 2017, where it was their political formation together with Uhuru's that gave us the commission that gave the elections in 2017, which in the first round were annulled. Of course, there went on to be a repeat election, but we know that questions have been raised with regard to the 2017 presidential elections and basically the general elections in totality. Now, in 2022, Kalonzo Musyoka was with Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta, and there was this talk about them having this system. So in a way, it was considered that if the elections were going to be rigged, it would be in their favor. There have been other actors in that space, both in 2017 and in 2022, that never kind of got an opportunity to be heard or to be at the table. So even in the constitution of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, their views were not taken into account. Now, at this point, we have ODM in government, we have UDA, we have Wiper. It's a mongrel of a system that's running this country. And then we have this battle with regard to Koki Muli, where people believe that she's been pushed aside because she is principled and has values that are needed to ensure that the selection process of the commission is above board. Now, that may be a lone voice, but then my question is this: is it not naive of us to push for the reconstitution of an IEBC when in fact evidence points to the reality that that commission eventually will have a very strong axis that is based in Kamagut and Bondo, and us going into an election with that kind of a commission will be like Kenyans taking themselves to the slaughterhouse. Yes, people say we may not have an alternative to the process that's currently going on, but if I was to be bold and courageous enough, I would actually congratulate the Wiper Party and Koki Muli and Kalonzo for having held this process behind for a bit so that we can introspect. Because in reality, if we allow the big boys to be in charge of this process like they are, you look at the names that were given. Yes, on paper we say there is independence, but eventually...
Mudiria, do you want to ask the question? Mudiria, we are running out of time. If you want to make it brief, please make it brief and ask the question. Thanks.
Well, my question to our former vice president is this: is it naive of us to expect that the IEBC that will be born out of the process currently ongoing will deliver free, fair, and credible elections? You are an insider once, and you were pushed aside, and elections were delivered in the manner that they were in 2022. So now that you're on the periphery, should we trust this process and focus on it and not agitate for a different kind of process that would give us a commission that will deliver free, fair and credible elections in 2027.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dolphin, go ahead. Dolphin, you've been here for a while and I want to hear your voice. Dolphin, before Omondi, you were given, Koyo, you were given a mic. Dolphin, are you here now? All right. Omondi Koyo, go ahead. Then we'll welcome uh, Honorable Kalonzo to chime in. I think, Neto, that is the order.
Yes, I think I agree with you. Thanks.
Oh, okay. Omondi, go ahead. You were given the mic by Honorable Justin Wamae. Koyo, are you
Yes,
here?
Hilary, you can hear,
I can hear you,
you can
bro.
hear me
Yes.
very well. First of all, let me say good evening to everyone, and I would wish to pass my message of goodwill to all members under Healthy 2025, Your Excellency, Dr. Kalonzo Musyoka. In Kenya today, the question in the lips of so many Kenyans and in the hearts of many Kenyans is, yes, we agree that we need to change the Kenya Kwanza regime, but they ask themselves, with who? Because the person who Kenyans have been actually seeing as our best option is Dr. Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka. But when you listen to a number of Kenyans, they do tend to believe that he's not taking this matter seriously. And to me, I think that is a very big failure on his part, which he needs to change on his tactics going forward in 2025. However, I would wish to ask His Excellency Kalonzo Musyoka that in Azimio we are only 23 political parties. We organized ourselves and 16 parties voted for Dr. Augustus Muli against 7 members of Azimio who voted for Dr. Koki Muli. What is this one problem that he has with Dr. Augustus Muli that he can't allow him to serve at the panel so that we can unlock the stalemate and allow the country to move forward? Remember, the Kenya Kwanza regime is taking advantage of the confusion in Azimio to continue derailing the reconstitution of IEBC. How I beseech His Excellency Kalonzo Musyoka, please let us allow this process to continue, because Dr. Augustus Muli of National Liberal Party is a constituent member of Azimio La Umoja One Kenya Coalition, which yourself you are leading. How I beseech you that please organize us as Azimio so that other Kenyans and other stakeholders can take us seriously as the best option that can remove the Kenya Kwanza regime from power. Otherwise, I thank you very much, and I hope there will be goodwill going forward into the future so that these cases in court can be withdrawn. We finish the matter and reconstitute IBC for the benefit of all of us as the citizens of Kenya. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Before we go to Honorable Kalonzo, quick, Ronyo, I give you less than a minute. Go ahead for your question.
Thank you so much, Abdi, and thank you so much, Honorable Kalonzo. I just have 2 questions within less than 1 minute. One is the issue with the IBC, because I think it is by design that they are delaying this, because I think the Kriegler report is just a recommendation. So what can we do so that next time another one, whoever comes to power, does not use this gap in the constitution whereby the constitution does not clearly state that within a specific time we should have an IBC. Can we can maybe Kalonzo Musyoka help us so that we can have the constitution clearly stating what at the specific time where the IBC can be? And then another one, the last one, is we have leaders who are threatening people like Farah Maalim and all that. Can Kalonzo also help us so that not only asking them to resign and all that, but can we have them charged because they are also coming for the young people who are speaking against them? Thank you so much, and God bless you.
Thank you, Ronyo. I'll just go to quick online comments for Kalonzo Musyoka. Quick one. This is a question that says, in the light of the CS Murkomen comments, how do you view the government's approach to addressing dissent and criticism on social media? Do you believe using threat as a tool to stifle freedom of expression is an effective solution, or do we need to focus on the root cause of public discourse on the government failure? Thank you, and over to you, Honorable Kalonzo. I thought there was Dr. Milton who wanted to chime in for a minute, but I don't see him. But over to you, Hillary, to take it back to Honorable Kalonzo.
Oh, thank you so much, Mheshimiwa. You can chime into those questions. There's so many, and also you can give your final remarks, and I'll give also Honorable Neto to say thank you for coming and honor our request and joining the team today. Thank you so much, Mheshimiwa. You can chime into those questions. There's so many.
Yeah. Where are we? Okay, it's open. Okay. Are you there?
Yes, Mheshimiwa, we can hear you. You're well.
Thank you. Well, I want to thank all the contributors and very useful comments. Generally, very concerned about our country and where we are. Boni, you gave us quite a bit of a lecture, Dr. Boni Mwangi, very competent economist, given us very good statistics about my own home county of Kitui. I cannot, of course, agree with you. I do agree with you absolutely that something needs to be done about foreign travels by MCAs and people. It may not be clear to the majority of Kenyans that before the close of every financial year, everything is done to get members of parliament out to Dubai and to other places, MCAs everywhere. Some go for benchmarking in places like Singapore and other places. Complete wastage of public resources. Therefore, I cannot agree with you more, Panaboni. And you say that Governor Vinya is actually online herself. But of course, I don't agree when you said there's zero on education and bursaries for Kitui County. I wish Governor Malombe was able to be. We'll bring this out, this fact to him. I cannot see how there can be zero allocation for education and bursaries in Kitui, and this 80 million for Machakos. I really would want to engage with you, Bwanabone Mwangi, when you are home. I don't know whether you are home, because I admire your knowledge of economics. Rose Seko, I thank you so much for the wonderful comments on what yours truly has been able to do in terms of working for peace, not just in our country, but in our region. And therefore, I want to give you my commitment that the biggest challenge we have is to work for national cohesion. You know, there's a constitutional commission which is called, what is it, NCIC, Commission on National Commission on something, led by Dr. Kobia. I wish they could just swing into action and institute prosecutions. You know, the only commission I find which is working to the benefit of Kenyans is the Kenya National Human Rights Commission. Because I'm with them in court, they are there, they are trying to educate our people on their rights, their constitutional rights, a lot of them non-derogable. And so I find that some of these constitutional commissions are really sleeping on their job. Therefore, however, there's a lot that we can do. I believe seriously in servant leadership. That's why I started by saying, for me, leadership is a calling. If you try to impose yourself on people, you end up like Bwana William Ruto. And so I have respect for him. He is our current president, and we are all going to have to work hard. I hope I saw that somebody like Sudi joined this conversation. I wish he can go and tell his boss what Kenyans are actually saying. Senator Ken Babu, I missed out on your submission. There's some interruption. But we have to work very hard on building a proper coalition, a coalition that is going to work towards a complete liberation. In fact, I'm calling it Komboa Kenya. Because this is a time really to all of us put aside whatever differences and be able to get our country back. So we'll work together. We'll work together. As I told you, we are working very hard. Even I gather they are trying to now impeach Governor Natembeya because of telling William Ruto the truth at the funeral in Bungoma. And if they try to do that, we will stand as usual with Governor Natembeya and tell people the truth. That absolutely nothing but the truth. But Muthiora, I really admire your thinking about the challenge we are all facing in reconstituting the IEBC. Even before we come to interviewing commissioners, um, you begin to see it. You see through it all the manipulation, the need to capture every commission, and the monies that I know they are willing to spend to buy even the 9 commissioners. Unfortunately, we did recommend an ANADCO that William Ruto and Raila Odinga will be able to consult. I think that in the light of what Raila is now doing, I think we should now change it and say we have to be there so that it's not left to William Ruto to appoint the commissioners and the chair of the commission and that kind of thing. During those discussions, Kenyans had various approaches on how to end up with a credible, um, IEBC. If you look at the example of a country like Ghana, which has gone through a reasonably good election, and I saw Sudi arguing that no country in the world has there been a president who has been elected only one term. I think he doesn't know there's a country called Botswana, which had a one-term president, and we even in the U.S. itself, and what has been happening in the region is amazing. It looks like the trend in Africa is for one term so that Africans can get their countries back. Therefore, we'll not allow a situation, as Muthiora is saying, where you go to Kamagut, decisions are made in Bondo and Kamagut. Of course, it will not happen. It will not happen. Kenyans have now discovered that, as somebody earlier on said, sovereignty of the people under the Constitution. And that is why they took it in my view is since the 25th of June last year, we really do not have a proper parliament in place. The one which is there was impeached by the Kenyan people. And so we will remain focused in ensuring that nobody is going to end up with a Ruto-friendly IEBC. It should be a Kenyan-friendly IEBC. And so we will work very hard in that direction. Bwana Koyo is Secretary General of Augustine Muli's party. And please, when you tell him not to associate openly with Ruto and then pretend he's actually with us in Azimio, because that is one of the problems. You know, it doesn't even have the ability to camouflage his movements. How are we going to trust him if he is there castigating other leaders, including yours truly, and spewing all manner of vitriol? However, the matter is coming up, as I said earlier on the 21st of this month. And if the courts find in favor of Augustine Muli, I have no problem with him. He will go on to represent Ruto because he cannot represent us. It is clear he's biased in favor. In fact, the other day he called a meeting of his clan, and Kambas are not very well known to believe so much in clanism. But he declared as a clan, he declared himself. Actually said they are there to work with William Ruto. So how can I trust Bwana Koyo, our good friend Augustus Muli, to be the voice for Azimio la Umoja One Kenya? By the way, before I forget, somebody tried to suggest that I said Azimio is actually in place. I think that friend did not hear me correctly. I said Kenyans have lost faith in Azimio because some of Azimio leaders, I said it very clearly, Kenyans are actually fed up with the name Azimio. This is why we have to reconfigure the whole situation. We'll give opportunity to ODM to tell us whether they want to work with us or to work with William Ruto. It will be their constitutional right. But the rest of us are determined to work to, in a very democratic manner, remove William Ruto from office. Now, when CS Murkomen attacks Kenyans on social media, threatens them, and I think even William Ruto is threatening them even today. You know, the world has changed. The world is now full of artificial intelligence and other things. Sorry, Bwana Murkomen. This is not the country that you imagined it would be. Kenyans have come of age. And in fact, I think we need to give ourselves accolades because we do lead in this. Imagine, for example, when it came to the time to nominate the most corrupt leader in the world. A lot of Kenyans went online. Maybe this is what is making them very upset. But they should have also have asked others to nominate other people. But to earn the reputation that the country's leader is ranked now, I think must be the reigning champion because Bashar Assad has been thrown out. All right. So to really have, it's very bad for economics. For our economy, it's bad for our image, and we cannot therefore continue to to languish under this kind of leadership. Social media. I see, in fact, Meta, the leadership of Meta Group, just like Elon Musk's X, have actually removed censorship. They said everybody has the freedom of expression, provided you don't take a pang and kill your fellow citizen. But Kenyans must develop the culture of taking criticism, particularly Kenyan leaders. Therefore, it will not help to abuse the young people, to threaten them, intimidate them. Intimidation, the era of intimidation in Kenya is long gone, and we will stand with our people to the very end. I thank you so much, Pana Hilary.
Uh, Thank you so much, Mheshimiwa, for coming and for honoring our request to join us in this conversation. And I want to assure you this is just a beginning of the conversation on the state of the nation, and I believe